As a 6'1", 210-pound high school linebacker, William Alderman looked destined for a Division I program. After his coaches moved him to defensive end, no D1 schools came calling. For Alderman, he believes that move to defensive line was a blessing in disguise that led him to Carson Newman.
It was a long road on not that I went through a lot of JUCOs or anything like that, but really just from high school to college, it was a very unsure road. And just how God set it up, it really set me back and it humbled me because I thought I was a good player, and it was just like, oh yeah, D1. And then it was like, oh what, D2? But then getting here, I just realized how much better this is for me, and just not that the competition's great. I have great coaching, godly coaches that are leading me in that way, and also checking my spirit just every day when I step on the field, and more than just the spiritual side, but also making sure that I'm being a man and really pushing myself to the fullest I can physically and mentally, and also spiritually. And so this is definitely, I would have it no other way than to put on that Carson Newman jersey every single weekend.
In his 22nd season in Mossy Creek, defensive line coach Dan Redding said that Alderman is a great kid to be around that has tremendous influence on the other players.
Will Alderman's a joy to coach. He enjoys the game. He's dedicated to it. He'll do anything in his power to get better at it. He brings an excitement and an enthusiasm. If you've been out there at 6 in the morning when we go to practice, he's hooping and hollering, he's screaming. He enjoys the game. And his leadership is very valuable to us.
Walk onto the field for any Eagle football practice and you immediately recognize the player wearing number 4 in orange. Alderman brings an intensity to each day that's unmatched.
The energy comes legitimately from praying, like God, and it's really a psychological thing that I use to try to wake myself up in that. And I really have felt like when I bring that energy, it can help other people get excited about the day, because if everybody's drowsy, then we're not going to get a lot accomplished. So just really is just praying every time I get up, because I feel the same way that they feel. I'm just like, oh, I don't feel like doing this. I'm really tired. My legs hurt. But it's just a switch that God's allowed me to turn on and turn off. And I feel like if I have it, then I need to use it for His glory and just being able to help motivate my fellow players. And so that's where that comes from.
The enthusiasm of the Brooksville, Florida native is palpable the moment Alderman walks into any room. The 6'2", 240-pounder is visibly one of the leaders on the team. AFCA Good Works team member Kurt Duncan recognizes the work that Alderman does not only on the field, but off the field.
I look at Will, and even though he's younger than me, he's the guy that I look up to, and he's the guy that everyone on the team looks up to. Just like for me, I know this world is not really about all the teams we make, and it would be the same situation if he did make this team next year. I don't know of anyone better that would be a candidate for this. He's such a man of God. He's a man of faith, but not just a guy who says he's a man of faith. He really trusts in the Lord in all he does. He's great on the field. He works hard, and he goes straight from practice. He organizes every FCA and all the speakers that come, and he's just a man after God's own heart.
As the president of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Alderman has used his status of playing football to help others. He is actively involved in the community as he has helped out at local churches and developed bonds with young adolescents.
It's a great responsibility. At times, I think I put more of a strain on it than I should, and I start stressing out about it and try to do above and beyond. But God calls us, and He equips us for what we need to do. And so the stressing that I put on it, I have to sit back and be like, Lord, you got this. You've equipped me. You've showed me the way that I need to do it. So just keep on reminding me of that. And just as you said, being a football player and having those people look up to you, it's a weird thing to say it. And then when you start realizing that, wow, these young kids really do look up to you. Just the other night, I was walking by a soccer game, and then this one young kid was kicking the ball, and he was just like, hey, do you play football at Carson Newman? I was like, yeah. And just had a 2-second conversation with him. And just him and his friend were just really lit up. And it really set me back and humbled me in saying that, wow, I really am in a position where kids look up to you, and you have to really be the man that you're calling yourself to be, and you can't fake it, because the eyes are on you.
Alderman has learned a lot from his father about being a leader. He has used the things that his father taught him to make an impact on other people's lives on a daily basis. The junior defensive end will never play in a BCS bowl game, but the lessons learned at Carson Newman has shaped his life better than Alderman could have ever anticipated. For the Ken Sparks Show, I'm Michael Watrang.